Welcome to The Explainer. If you've ever felt just completely overwhelmed by worry, you are so not alone. Today, we're going to break down a really powerful faith-based approach to conquering what some people have called the sickness of our century, anxiety. And we're going to be drawing from a series of sermons by Pastor Hernandez Diaz-Lopes.
Okay, so to get started, we've got to get a handle on the problem itself. The source material frames anxiety not just as some personal struggle, but as the most urgent, the most grave problem of our entire generation. And I thought this was such a powerful way to put it. It's a democratic illness. Why? Because it respects no boundaries. It hits all ages, all social classes, all kinds of people.
So to make this really hit home, let me ask you the same question that's posed in the source material. When was the last time you saw someone who was really struggling with anxiety?
Yeah, the answer is often a lot closer than we think. And the whole point here isn't just that we see anxiety in other people. For so many of us, it's this internal battle that we face every single day. The first anxious person we see is often staring right back at us in our own reflection.
Now this is fascinating. The original Greek word for anxiety gives us a much deeper, more vivid picture of what it actually feels like. It comes from this root word merinao, which means to be pulled apart or to be divided. Just think about that for a second. It's not just some mild worry. It's the visceral feeling of being strangled or suffocated or literally torn in opposite directions emotionally.
Okay, this next number is staggering. According to the research cited in the sermons, a full 70% of the things that cause us anxiety will never actually happen. Just let that sink in for a minute. We are spending our precious emotional energy and our peace on futures that most of the time don't even exist. We're suffering unnecessarily.
So if we're constantly worrying about things that probably won't even happen, why do we feel so trapped by it? Well, there's this really powerful metaphor used to explain this, and it has everything to do with being stuck between two thieves. So the idea is this. Anxiety crucifies us between two thieves. On one side, you've got the thief of the past. It's stealing our peace with all this remorse and guilt over things we absolutely cannot change. And then on the other side, you've got the thief of the future, stealing our joy with worry and fear over stuff we can't control. And we get trapped, right there, stuck in the middle.
And these thieves, they show up in very real, specific ways in our lives. The triggers can be circumstances we just can't predict, right? Like a job loss or a scary diagnosis. It can be the pain from broken relationships or that constant pressure of materialism that's always telling us we're not enough. Or it could be that deep-seated fear of sickness and the great unknown.
And this all leads us to the crucial point of this whole perspective, that anxiety is, at its very root, a spiritual issue. It's seen as a symptom of misplaced trust, kind of like a warning light on your dashboard, telling you that you're trying to carry burdens that you were never meant to carry alone. But here's the good news. This perspective doesn't just diagnose the problem and leave you there. It offers a very specific path forward. So let's look at the proposed remedy, which is a three-step solution drawn directly from the biblical book of Philippians.
The path forward here isn't about passive hope, it's about a series of conscious, intentional actions. First, it's about praying correctly, and that doesn't just mean listing your problems, but starting with adoration and with gratitude. Second, it's about thinking correctly, actively, intentionally filling your mind with what is true and good. And finally, number three, it's about acting correctly, actually putting these principles into practice in your daily life.
So if you follow this path, what happens? What's the result? Well, the promise isn't a life without problems. Not at all. Instead, it's the presence of something much more powerful within those problems.
The result is what the text calls a peace, which transcends all understanding. It's a kind of peace that just doesn't make sense based on your circumstances. It can coexist with the storm, with grief, with uncertainty, because it's an internal calm that is not dependent on what's going on outside.
And that word guard is actually a military term. It means to post a sentinel, like a soldier standing at the gate of a city. So the idea is that this peace isn't just this passive, calm feeling. It's an active protector for your mind and your heart. It stands watch to stop those anxious thoughts from invading and taking over.
There is probably no more powerful illustration of this than the true story of Horatio Spafford. This man faced an almost unimaginable string of tragedies. He lost his young son, then he lost his fortune in the Great Chicago Fire, and then in a horrific shipwreck, he lost all 4 of his daughters at once. And yet, and this is the incredible part, it was while he was sailing over the very spot in the ocean where his daughters were lost that he was able to find this transcendent peace and write the famous hymn, "It Is Well With My Soul."
And that leaves us with a final, really challenging question. If this peace is a gift that acts as a guard, then that makes us the gatekeepers. We have an active role in deciding which thoughts we allow to enter our minds and which ones we turn away. So the question for all of us is this: what thoughts are you allowing past the gate?